Hey everybody, welcome back to Variant Intel. Today we have episode 25 and our very special guest today is Spicy Dingle. Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you having me. It's good. It's good to be on the list of variants coming in.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I've been asked by the community more than once about having more than one guest at a time, and as much as I would like to, there's logistics involved and trying to get everybody's schedule. And I haven't had a repeat guest yet, but that is going to change in the future as things keep going. I know there's a lot of community members out there that I would love to interview, and there's a lot of folks that are interested. But make no mistake, folks, if you're somebody who is interested in being on the show and you haven't been invited yet, don't worry. We are thinking about you. There's just a lot of us and more every day. There's so much going on in the community, and that's going to lead right into what our topics are for today. So, Spicy, as I'm sure you've seen, the hype train has officially started as of this past week. Deadrop Midnight Society have been dropping all kinds of new information leading up to Snapshot 7. So I guess I want to start with, they announced this new Midnight Ride car mode. Give me your initial reactions to that, and what have been your thoughts about that?
Well, some of my initial thoughts. I think even before we get started, I just want to let you know. Okay, I appreciate you having me on, but I did scam you a little bit. Okay,
Uh-oh, what
and
happened?
because I think Am I the first claw on here? I'm not a real variant. Okay.
Actually, yeah, I think you might be. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure. And yeah, we were gonna get to that at some point later on.
Oh,
But by
apologies. Yeah, I didn't mean to get ahead of you, but I feel like I
no,
pulled it over your head there. I snuck my way in, of course, is the dirty claw, but that's fine. I
no,
wear it
it's
on my
it's
shoulder.
no, it's all good. It's all good. We have a ton of community members that have tower keys and access to the game that are just as welcome as any variants or anything else. Even though the show is called Variant Intel, it's really for the Midnight Society community. So,
Mhm.
claws are welcome, of course.
Well, I appreciate that, man. There was a secret, like a little Twitter group. Okay, check this out. A nice little story. There's a secret Twitter group with only variants, and they invited me. And I think someone snitched on me, and he kicked me out right away. I'm not going to say who it is,
Oh
but
no.
it hurt a little bit. I was like,
Ah,
okay, okay, they kicked my ass out right away, right away.
wow.
But
Dirty
but
claws,
yeah,
man. Well, hey,
I know. We're disgusting creatures, but that's fine.
you
That's
know,
fine.
maybe it has something to do with the fact that you're just cleaning lobbies out like it's yesterday's trash, you know?
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it is. I'll
I know I've been on the receiving end myself, so I could speak from experience.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, man, this lobbies are about to get a lot sweatier, and you're a controller player. Am I
Yes,
correct?
yeah, they aim assist confirmed. So it's gonna the dynamic. It's gonna be real interesting. It's gonna be really cool to see, like, how tuned is it? Does it come out of the gate super OP, or is it like, you know what I mean? So like, I know
Yeah,
there's a lot of
exactly.
people on both sides of the fence of that argument, and I got to tell you, as a controller player, the controller, to Midnight Society's credit, the
Hmm.
controller improvements have been substantial from the last two snapshots. However, I think aim assist is like the final missing piece, and I am looking very much forward to seeing what people do with it. But yeah, no shortage of controversy
Doc
with
is
that topic.
Doc's in the background talking to Rob. He's like, "Fuck these controller players, man. They're aim assist." He's back there just
Oh, Doc,
no, no.
I've seen many of Doc's rants about aim
Uh-huh.
assist, and I know that they have, initially really not wanted to put it in, but I mean, it's this inevitable thing that, because Dead
You
Drop's
gotta
going to be
do it.
on consoles, you just can't
You
not
gotta
have
do it.
it, you know.
You gotta break it. You know what I think they should do? I think they should just come out swinging and break it and then tone it back.
Just
That's what I
super
think they should do.
OP.
And I have no shame. My ass I'm looking at my controller right now, my little battle beaver waiting right there for
Yeah,
me. The second controller's better, I'm hopping ship. Trust
yeah,
me on that.
yeah.
I'm not
Cairo was saying
afraid.
the same thing. He's like, screw it, I'm just gonna go all in on controller and just melt everybody. I'm like, I'm waiting to see
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Right
yeah.
away, right away. I think, I don't know how the bunny hopping is gonna be on controller. It's probably gonna be a nightmare, but, I don't wanna get, carpal tunnel on my
Right.
my fingertips from, doing claw the whole
I
time.
was
So
gonna say
hopefully
do
we can
claw
adjust
grip or
it.
something,
Yeah, man, that'll mess up your fingers real
Well,
quick.
folks, when it comes to aim assist, we're going to find out real quick because if you start hearing somebody in Prox chat screaming, why does Helmet Fire have a 3.0 KD? You're going to know why.
Oh man, what controller games did you play?
Oh, I've played it all. I mean, I grew up playing the OG Halo stuff, like the whole lineage. I've played almost all the CODs. I've played, I mean, all the AAA stuff for sure. I love Doom. Yeah,
Doom's
man.
so good, man.
I played
It's so
GoldenEye
good,
back
man.
in the day for those of us that are old enough.
Oh no, don't tell me you're an odd job player.
No, no, I actively rebel against using that character.
Mhm.
I don't believe in hitbox cheese.
I agree, and I don't believe in shotguns either. So I think we can, I believe on that.
No, we should buff the shotguns, right?
Um,
Nudge, nudge.
no, we need 8 more.
We
That's
need,
like
dude. There's so many.
they need 8 more, and they need to all have a 0 TTK. That was always my take with it, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, uh, I know there's been some balance changes with Snapshot 6, and because the DMR used to be just broken, and the sniper, of course,
Wildly
used to be broken. But yeah, so
I remember playing one of the first tournaments I played in. It was right before the nerf, and people were just running around with the DMR, and I had no idea what I was doing at that point. It was like one of my first days playing. I sucked ass when the game came out, but man, that DMR, holy shit! It was so broken. I think they might even take the gun out of the game. Like
yeah. Well,
it
they
feels
nerfed
like
it.
there's no place for it now.
Well, they kind of nerfed it, and then, but I guess with Snapshot 6, like if you really juice it out with a weapon mod and a blue laser, like I guess it's still pretty OP. So I've heard. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm trash with it, so you know.
Same, completely.
Yeah.
If I have to click, I just want to hold down the button.
And just things go away. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Just throwing a few
That's what the
360s in there and we're good.
That's what the LMG was, man. My aim was so ass. Bro, I've been in Kovacs grinding, okay? The LMG was my saving grace, Snapshot 5, because you could just close your eyes and the bloom would just take care of everything for you. You didn't
Yeah.
really have to aim that well, but we'll
Wow.
see, man. We'll see. I'm excited about
All right,
controller. I
so
know I'm bringing it back, but boy, I mean, we're gonna make an appearance if it's broken, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna
oh,
hop over to your side, the dark side of aim assist. I mean,
hey,
lean into it.
dark side's welcome, man. I'm ready to go, and like I said, I'm just excited to see. I'm really excited at the prospect of there being a lot more players. They're opening it up. So for those listening,
Oh yeah.
Deadrop, they're selling these driver's key packages, which will give you access to the game. The base access to the game is only $10, so and that's a one-time purchase, and then you'll have access to it forever. And eventually, if you want to wait, it will become free to play eventually. But come on, jump
Mhm.
on in. Snapshot 7 is going to be great. So to the car mode they released, they talked about. So yeah, what was your initial thoughts on seeing that, and yeah, what do you think
Well,
about that?
I was impressed by the 10 FPS driving. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Twitter compression. The YouTube video is much better.
I believe it. I believe it. I'm hating. I'm hating. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think all jokes aside, I came off hating, but I love what this company's doing from a standpoint of they're not afraid to take risks. Okay.
Yeah,
You think back to, I know I'm going to go on a little rant here, but back in the 90s, and 2000s, they just kind of got wacky with games. And I feel like they're not doing that anymore. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like I'm thinking of like even like an unrelated game like Psychonauts or something. I felt like
Yeah,
back in the day people were taking risks. And that's where some bangers came out. Halo on one. People forget Halo was a huge risk.
it
You know what I
was.
mean? Like
It was.
like there's all these games now where it's all compartmentalized and run by statistics. We got the Carl over in statistics, running all the microtransactions and all this other bullshit. When are we going to get back to just doing something crazy? And
Yeah,
you can kind of tell that this is a passion project. Obviously there's going to be growing pains along the way. But I think the direction and them, either I hope they go down swinging. If this thing fails, I hope they just get crazy. But I don't think it will. I mean, you've played it. We've all played it. It has that electric energy that I think we've been kind of missing in the FPS genre, and that's why I've been so addicted to it.
yeah.
I downloaded Deadrop saying, "Oh, maybe I'll stream this for 1 or 2 times," and then I started playing it, and I was like, "Holy shit, man, this is fun!" I kind
Yeah,
of got hooked,
the potential
you
is
know?
there, man. And so I was on a shout out to King Graves. I was a guest on his podcast yesterday.
Ooh,
That
ooh.
episode will be coming out soon. But one thing we talked about, and it's not really a spoiler or anything, but we talked about the Midnight Society as a company, and like leading into what you said about them taking risks. And the word I used was innovating. And
Mhm.
one thing we covered was. The thing that I think makes it just all the more better is the reciprocation of how, like, a gaming community will champion a game, but it's super rare to see a studio reciprocate that energy. So Midnight Society is involved with its community on the ground level
Mhm.
in so many ways, and it really does make such a huge difference. And man, what a ride we're on right now, and all this new stuff that's getting revealed for Snapshot 7 is it's really mind blowing what they're doing in 3 month increments, and we're still pre alpha. Like, holy crap!
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to Kyra the other day, and I was like, "Man, every snapshot feels like a new game release." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
kind
it
of.
feels like a brand new game coming out every couple months. You know, and if this snapshot sucks, guess what? We'll play it for a couple weeks. We'll put it to the side. We'll come back for the next one. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I don't think it will. I think this is going to be a
No,
good
this
one.
one's gonna be a banger. I really do. They're so the listeners, literally at the time of this recording, they just dropped another new piece of information, basically saying they showed off all these new modes that we're gonna get. They're
Mhm.
called DCMs, Dead Drop Community Modes, and there's 6 of them. And I'll pull up this image right here. So we're getting,
Oh, I'm looking at it.
yeah, we're getting High Octane Capture the Flag. That's got Joker's name on it. We got Free for All with Kubi. We got Arsenal with OMA Monster. We got Infection with Mayor. Enforcer with Caramel. And Team Deathmatch with American Dad. So those are some fantastic community members, well known in the community. And it's so cool to see that they got selected by Midnight Society to kind of help foster these new modes. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, so they're not even done revealing all of what 7 will bring, and we are already been told of like all these new modes, some kind of new map that's separate from the 2 sectors we had before, plus the Midnight Ride mode in its entirety. And it's like, and then they're opening it up to more people, so I'm totally expecting way more packed lobbies, way more stuff to do on
Mhm.
Friday night dead drops and in the downtime in between the weeks. I don't think this is going to be a simple, all right, we've experienced everything in the first 2 weeks, and now we're going to put it aside for a few months. No, I think this one's going to have a lot more legs on it.
I I agree. I agree completely. I mean, the fact that they're coming out with this many modes day one
Yeah.
is a risk within itself because you know how the lobbies are. You know what
And
I mean?
that's
When the
just and that's
snapshots
on
are.
top of the main dead drop core experience, mind you, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people, it's easy to forget that, oh, dead drop has a core experience of load into the map, and it's this hybrid extraction battle royale kind of thing with the verticality of the maps and how they build them, which is unique to the genre. And so on top of that, we're getting 6 other modes, and it's like, wow, man, there's so much.
It's a lot, man, and you know what that really says that they're doing is that they have I guarantee you, I hope this is what they did. I hope they didn't just willy-nilly reach out to these people and say, "Hey, you know," I hope that they had internal data showing, "Hey, we're gonna have lobbies that are this filled for this amount of time, you know, we can have 6 creators up here." I hope they have all that internal data, before we go into it, and I think they do, and that's really promising because that means that they believe that there's gonna be a lot of people playing for a lot longer. Which is really, you know, at the end of the day, that's just get me so excited about this snapshot.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And
It
I would bet that you're probably correct in your assumption about telemetry. They're probably looking at like a lot of data and numbers saying what lobby sizes feel good with what maps we're here to present. So this is kind of breaking right now as we're recording. Caramel posted a tweet from Rob in the
Mhm.
Discord, and Rob says, rather than focus just on Proving Grounds 2, we added an entirely new Proving Ground, the ability to limit maps to smaller sections for use in DCM, as well as additional arena-style maps that play well for DCM. The Proving
Interesting.
Grounds will get visual upgrades uniformly post Snapshot 7. So that's
Interesting.
interesting. So
Hmm.
basically, yeah, it looks like instead of just zeroing in on Proving Grounds 2 from Snapshot 6, they basically just added a brand new one, and then they took the idea of like sectioning out maps for specific modes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Man, it's just so much at one time to take all in, you know.
Yeah,
And
I'm getting
I'm gonna
overwhelmed.
have to, bro. We literally so before people listening back in, they sent out this tweet right before we started this call. So I
They
haven't even
did.
had time to digest
I
all
know,
this.
dude.
You know,
We're still taking
my
it in. It's real
my
time.
knee jerk reaction is where the hell is Helmet Fire and Spicy Dingle's name on this picture? That's what I'm saying. Where are we at? No, I'm kidding. I'm
Hey,
kidding.
no. You know what's cool, man? This is the cool thing is like, because I'm like you and everybody else. Like when they put out the signups for UGC, I clicked the button and I just let it ride. I knew a whole lot of people were doing stuff. I was just like, if I get picked to do something, I was really like, to be honest, bro, I was kind of struggling. Like, if I get picked, what the hell am I gonna do? So like, and so the names that got picked to me kind of makes sense because like you look at
100%.
OMA, like OMA's been making skins since day one.
Bro has been grinding the skin game.
Like, and
Kubi's
so it's
been making
so
some
well
sick
deserved.
stuff. Mayor is like, pretty sure he's Rob's cousin or something. I mean, they're bros. I think everybody in here, I mean, Big W, they've done a lot for the community, and I think it's well deserved. Well deserved.
Dude, some of the stuff
100%.
Kubi was doing, like, holy moly, dude! Like his like 3D variants recreations were just blowing my mind, dude.
Oh yeah, and each one got better too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think he's charging right now. So if anyone out there is looking to throw Kubi some a couple doll hairs, I'm pretty
go
sure
see if he's taking commissions, man. It's well deserved. I mean, he's very good at what he does. Same thing with OMA, and then Joker. We're planning on doing some. Joker made a Halo Infinite Forge map that he calls Disintegration, and we're working on doing some kind of community playthrough. I think tomorrow for Friday Night Deadrop. I say tomorrow because we're recording on Thursday, but yeah. So,
yeah. No, that's exciting.
So we talked about the car mode. So the next thing that they, I'm going in chronological order here. So the next thing they talked about was the shoot. Now I got to look because there's, like you said, there's so much.
Bro, there's so much stuff they're doing. Creative I didn't even notice that. Now there's a creative mode. Are we? You see what I'm saying?
I'm about to, but let me see if I can stay in chronological order here. So the next thing they said was new maps, your modes, and more players. So they were basically teasing the new modes, and they showed this picture of the infection mode. But what's even cooler that I want to bring up is the dude's holding a knife, so we're getting melee weapons, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, so I wonder if that will be limited to just a knife, or do you think we'll get like baseball bats or katanas? What do you think?
I think the amount of adrenaline that Doc had from opening that CS:GO case is showing up in this snapshot.
Yeah. Dude, he's all about that knife, dude, that sapphire.
Bro, he loves that knife. And I guarantee you, right about, what is that, like a month ago when that happened, or a month and a half?
Something like that, yeah.
That's when they were grinding this snapshot. So you can see that DNA about a month and a half ago coming in here.
Yeah.
I think they're only going to have a knife right now. That's what I think.
To me, that makes sense.
I think they're going to start slow.
It's like proof of concept.
Yes. And it sounded like they're not going to have it in the vertical extraction shooter mode.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
I don't know. I think, didn't Rob say that? I don't know. I was happy.
Dude, well, there was so much in the AMA. That's another thing. I tried to take notes during the AMA, dude, and to be fair, a lot of, like, I'd say 60% of the AMA was like about the microtransactions, and we can cover that a little bit. It's a really, controversial topic. But some of the other things they talked about.
Controversial, send the Dingles away. More controversial, the better. I said more controversial, the better. Just send it.
Oh yeah,
I'd be happy to talk about it.
Yeah, the AMA covered so much stuff. So, the car mode. I will say this for the Midnight Ride, the car mode, based on what Rob said in the AMA, the way it will work is we'll all be in our cars and we're racing through the city to get to the tower, and each sector has multiple entry points, but each entry point can only hold so many cars. Once it's filled, it will shut off and you will have to try to find another entry point. And all the meanwhile, we're shooting each other, trying to blow each other's car up. We don't yet know how the respawn mechanic will work. Like my assumption, and I'm going to ask you your take here in a second, Spicy, but
Okay.
I'm assuming that, like, you know, right now we have 3 lives essentially. You have your main life and then 2 sins. And I think, like, if you get blown up in the car, I think it will just auto spawn you in the map somewhere. That's my guess.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I think that's a great question. You know, I didn't think about it till now, but there might be a meta where you blow yourself up and then you just spawn in before everyone else and just hold the camp points. You know, I wonder if there's some sort of timer. Hopefully, they have some sort of timer. If you blow yourself up, you know, that you got to wait till everyone kind of lands in.
Yeah.
But that's interesting thought to have. I don't think they're going to ditch the sin system yet.
No,
Um,
I don't think so.
you know, I like it. It's very rudimentary and basic, but I like the idea of getting people back in the game fast. I always
Yeah.
have. You know, I think Warzone 1 did that fantastic. I think that was one of the biggest limiting factors in Warzone 2, actually,
Oh,
is
that
just,
just
you
brings up
know.
a question. Do you think that, all right, let's say we load into the map or whatever, and then we die. Do we go back out to the streets in our car to try to load back in? Does that happen with every life or just the first one?
I don't know, man. That would be
Yeah.
kind of annoying, right? It's kinda like that'd be kinda like a run back. Bro, I
Yeah.
just played Dark Souls 1 and, after playing Elden Ring. I don't know if you've played those games, but the
I've
run
beaten Elden
backs
Ring.
on
Elden Ring's incredible. Top
the
10,
one of the
like
best.
one of the best games ever.
Ever. Not even close. If you know, if you don't agree, you're Quantum TV. I don't know if you followed that, but that's essentially what you are. It greatest. I went back and played Dark Souls 1. I was like, "Holy shit, this game can hold up now." The map design was almost even better than Elden Ring, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, it's like a puzzle that they all fit together. It was
Yeah.
fantastic for the time. I mean, amazing. But one of the limiting factors about that is you had these insane runbacks to bosses, whereas in Elden Ring, you just spawn next to the boss and you go to the boss, and it's like you
Yeah.
can get right
Yeah.
back into action. And I think that in Dead Drop, if they put any sort of delay from you being able to play or like some artificial, you know, it's just not going to be fun. That's the
I
reality.
my assumption, what makes sense to me is the driving experience is initially loading into the tower the
Yes,
first time, and then you play in the map with your 3 lives. I would agree. That seems to make the most sense because if you're popping back and forth that much between lives, that seems like it would surely put a strain on the game engine or your
that too.
computer
Yep.
or you know, I don't see that as um, a good thing. I think we'll probably, all right, get in the car, give it your best, get into the tower, get to the chopper, and
To
then
the
you know
chopper,
when you're
yeah,
done, once you're in, and your 3 lives are spent in there. That's my
in there.
assumption.
Yeah, I think so, and I
This
think
is
that's
all
what they're going
speculation,
for.
folks. We don't know anything yet on that particular piece. We're waiting on more info, so stand by on that.
I guarantee what they're doing is they're going to test it. Does this suck? That's going to be the real question, right? Is this fun or is this not fun? At the
Well, that's
core
kind of why
game
we're all
design.
here, right? In the first
Yeah,
place. Like this whole thing
exactly.
is a kind of a big experiment if you think about it.
Yes, yes. And I think with the last snapshot, you know, I think the big question was, are the cleaners fun or not? And I think unanimously people said they are not fun, but I think they could make them fun, you know.
They
So on
could
the
tweak
feedback,
them. They could tweak them. I mean, y'all seen clips of me like getting, you know, uh what do you call it? Ambushed by like 6 of them, you know.
just waddling aimbots. I call them girth bots. They just
I
waddle
have
around
I have
everywhere
a
and just
video. I have a video where I sniped this cleaner in the head, and it's like
yep,
it ticks for like 182 damage or something, and he just ate it
yeah.
for lunch, and I was like,
Mhm.
bro, like my
Yep.
goodness, man.
And then they turn around and just delete you. I had a couple
Yeah,
times where I spawned 3 times in a row in front of the same cleaners, and you're just like, "Okay,
and they're over
this is
here,
pre-alpha."
you know, it's
Yeah,
like,
giant cock. That one guy, I hope they don't get rid of that guy. I don't know if you heard the cleaner that says giant cock.
no, no. Well, I mean, I don't know what they say, but I'm sure it could
Listen
be,
for it this snapshot, man. I
yeah.
guarantee there's one cleaner that always says giant cock. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, you think I'm exaggerating, trying to be funny? I swear to you, this is what this cleaner says. I'm like, okay,
There's
it's pretty funny.
the only thing there's only 2 words they say that I think I know what they say, and one of them is like index scrub check, and then like
Okay.
another one's like when they scream, they're like you're back, brr, brr, you know, like they sound like Chopper from Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, the droid chopper. So anyway,
Star Wars. I didn't play that game.
no,
I didn't
it's
play that
a
game.
TV show. That's fine. All the Star
Oh,
Wars
okay.
people will know.
I'm a Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars guy. I don't watch the cartoon ones though.
The live action, the new Ahsoka show was really good, and Chopper's in there.
Bro,
so.
that show's so good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really
I
good.
went back and watched Mando, and I was like, oh shit, this actually like can hang with Mando. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. What else do we got? We have, so they just dropped the modes. They're talking about the maps.
You mind if I talk about the car mechanics themselves? I know I kind of like glossed over that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they just going in like, what is this gonna be like? Are we gonna like? He said that you can only use a pistol or a SMG in the car right now if you go and equip that. Is this gonna be like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where I'm just like holding the weapon out the front, shooting people? You know.
I mean, that seems. It seems like it. I mean, I think the premise is, if we can, to me, it seems like, based on what Rob said about like how there's multiple entry points, it seems like some entry points are more advantageous than others, and that's why you want to, like, you know, get there as fast as possible to get that better spawn point. I guess that's what I'm reading from this. And then, you know, of course, if you get blown up, well, you're screwed out of a better spawn point. But
yeah.
And now that's going to be interesting too, because like predictable spawn points in a shooter that can be controversial. So I'm really curious to see how it is implemented, how it's tuned. And of course, you know, this is the thing about, I've been seeing certain feedback in the community, especially during the AMA, and a lot of it was about loot boxes and stuff, but like a lot of people tend to forget that like this is a pre-alpha, but I don't want to just keep saying the same thing. So I want to elaborate on that. So in order for a product to get better, they have to present you with a product to start with. The product they start with is never going to be perfect, and it's going to not, you know, it's not without its flaws. So like, for instance, every snapshot is basically a new product. So when we get this driving experience, well, that's the first time we're going to be doing it. So we're going to play it, we're going to critique it, add the feedback. And then, you know, Midnight Society is going to do what they've always done. They're going to take that feedback and implement it. And they have been really good at that. A lot of people also have been missing this in the community. Just because Midnight Society hasn't come out and said, here's a list of all the changes we did based on these exact things that you wanted. Like, that's not how it works, folks. But make no mistake, like, they absolutely have been with each snapshot, like what they've brought out in each new snapshot has had the changes that the community has been asking for in large part. Not everything, but in massive proportions that it really gets overlooked and a lot of people miss it. So I have to call that out. Like there's so many things I've seen in like Joker's videos or stuff that Lolo said or Cairo or you, that, you know, we are never going to get a 100% wish list completed. That's not reality.
Never.
But if you take a look at what Midnight Society is doing versus other AAA studios, it is not even close. Like, we are getting so much. So
we're spoiled.
Yeah, we're very spoiled. So
and I'm gonna take full advantage of that.
Yeah,
you best believe. You best believe.
I'm gonna take full advantage of that aim assist.
That too. I will say, like, hot take here. Are you ready for this hot take?
Yep, bring it.
I don't think they should allow much voting right now for variants. After some of the feedback I've seen from people that they hop in, they play a couple hours, you know, I think they need to kind of wait. I've seen so many bad takes that it's made me lose faith, man. I've seen so many bad takes. Like, I think the overall sentiment from the community, I think they should allow voting in the future. But I think right now, like you kind of how you alluded to, they have to make a product first, right? For us to evaluate, play in, get our beak wet. And then we can start voting on, okay, do we like this? Do we like that? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I'll kind of add to that. No, this is great. This is great because I do want to add to that too. I'll give my opinion. Mine's not as spicy of a take, of course, but that's okay. But I'm not a fence sitter when it comes to this topic. I know I get accused of being a fence sitter, but when it comes to voting rights, I agree with what you said. Like, I think in a lot of cases, we're still not at what the core Deadrop experience that Midnight Society envisions has actually been delivered yet. They're still building it. So that's one thing. But number two, I will say that if I had a critique of Midnight Society when it comes to the voting rights that were quote unquote promised, I would say
Promised, yeah.
if Midnight Society could come out and just really more finely detail what those voting rights are supposed to be about and what they're supposed to be for, I think it would really make a difference with that side of the community, because
Yeah, it's pissing people
it's a
off.
little too vague in my opinion, and they haven't
Mhm.
really elaborated on what that's supposed to be. And here's my thing is, like, if Midnight Society can't commit to a definition yet, then give us a roadmap on where your thoughts are as a studio, right? So in
Yeah,
other words,
yeah,
like, they could at least come out and say, like, all right, here's what we envision for voting rights, and this is an idea of what we're thinking and when you might expect that more to follow, right? I think if they did
exactly.
that, that would help a lot.
I think communication has been absolutely shit on some things. I agree completely. And I don't mean to, roast them. I'm being aggressive what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I
you're
think
not
I
alone in
think that
that. I mean, the
I think
communication,
they
yeah.
this past snapshot, I think they just need to set expectations insanely low and then allow more people to get into the game, right? Once they get that console certification, I mean, how can they vote on major things if it's only a niche of people even
Yeah.
able to play the game right now, right?
I
You
agree
know,
with that 100%. Like,
there's so
we're
many
too early.
variants that don't have access, and I
Yeah.
think that even I think another thing that people miss as well is that they never voted on ledge grabbing, right? But I think the overall sentiment of the community is kept that in the game because they're going to nuke ledge grabbing, as soon as they found it.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm guessing. But everybody, for the most part, loves ledge grabbing. I would say probably 80% plus that I've at least asked. That's just one bullet point there, but um, I think so they are listening through other means to the community for sure, but I think you're right on the nose that they need to define, okay, what the hell, cuz these people, they paid $50 for, I'm personally happy that they're not doing voting cuz I don't agree with a lot of some of the suggestions I've seen, slow the game
Sure.
down, turn it into Tarkov. I don't really like that.
Well, those
You know,
those are opinions that have no guidance on what they should even be voting for, and that's my point. Is like Midnight
exactly.
Society needs to come out and define what that is, or provide a roadmap to what they're thinking. Because at that point, now instead of these just random wild out in the universe takes, it's a little
Yeah,
more like honed in on, uh, you know, it's just a little bit more contained and realistic, right?
exactly. I think so. And I think them doing someone complained in the variant chat I heard, and they put out a bullshit vote the next day, and then you're kind of like, okay, well that's not really good. We could have
Yeah,
saved face a better way. I think, but at the end of the day, this not only are these are the growing pains of having a pre-alpha game, right? I think we're being a little nitpicky at this point. I want to see, like you said, let's make some products first, and then we can talk about,
yeah.
what do we want, what do we like, and what do we don't. I think that's a very reasonable way to look at it for sure.
Yeah, because the core idea of what Deadrop is supposed to be, I mean, to me that means like beta, like
Absolutely.
there, because we have no idea outside of where we are today, like how much more they're looking to add to Deadrop to realize the vision of what they have in mind for it. So,
Mhm.
like, I think once we get to like I was saying, a more realized vision of what they want it to be, then it's like, okay, variants, like, here's where we're thinking, here's our roadmap, and and as far as a roadmap, they could provide that. They should provide that now, in my opinion, because it's just a roadmap. Roadmaps are
Yeah.
subject to change, but at least it provides that level of communication to, set expectations.
Yes. Yes. I think from a gameplay standpoint, they made a huge map statement today, though. We got to give
Yeah,
them that, right?
yeah,
All
the
the
one that just
FPS
dropped with all the
modes,
modes, that's great.
they're basically saying we want to be like our own FPS shooter with a battle royale and an extraction mode kind of thing. That's what they said today.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I love it, man. I'm gonna be honest. I love these changes. Just knee jerk reflex. So I may hate it in a month from now, but I don't think I will. I've loved everything they've done, man. But I think it's important we be critical and not hold back on certain things. I feel like sucking up to them too much would, we wouldn't get all the bullshit out the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I can speak to this a little bit. So after going to the Snapshot 5 live event and meeting Rob and Quinn and so many of these
Yeah,
developers
yeah,
in person, I can tell you firsthand, like they are not a studio who wants to be, you know, they don't want a yes man. They
yeah,
want the honesty, they want the brutal truth. Now, this is a double-edged sword, right? So this is my message to the community is like do not be afraid to voice your opinion. All opinions are valid, but there is a difference between being constructive and firm versus just being
yeah.
an asshole, right? So
We've seen some of that. We've seen a few of that.
no, but look, and I know, and here's the thing is like there's a lot of people that while voicing their criticisms, they might come off like an a-hole, but like it doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to be one. And I think Midnight Society is really good at discerning that. Like they know that these most of the time, in most cases so far with our community, most of the criticisms are just that they're just from a very passionate place. We want the game to succeed. Of course,
Yes.
there's always the percentage of trolls. No community is without that, of course. But the developers are very thick-skinned and very ready and willing to take the hard criticisms.
Yeah, hopefully. I think they are. I
I
think you're
no,
right.
they've proven
I
they
think
are. I can tell you firsthand. I believe they are.
the dev heads I've met Rob as well in
Yeah,
person, and I will say like he seems like a
he
very
don't mess
laid back
around.
guy. I don't think they're not pussies. That's the reality, right?
Well, I
I'm just
mean,
being honest.
it's Doctor Disrespect too. You got to think about it, right? Like,
Bro, the game is going to play like Halo and PUBG had a baby. I'm just saying that's how it
yeah,
feels now, and that's how it's going to be. If people want to play a Tarkov like game, it's not going to end up like that. I
yeah,
guarantee it. It's
yeah.
going to be like Halo 2 and PUBG had a baby, and I like that. Halo 2 is
Yeah,
my favorite game of all time.
Halo
FPS game
2
at
and
least.
3 were goated, man.
Goated, amazing, amazing
Yeah.
until they sold their souls. But I think that you know, PUBG is a fantastic game. I didn't have a PC then. I tried it on Xbox, and I wanted to throw my Xbox out the window. It was so unoptimized. Felt like a mobile port on the Xbox, so I returned it. But I feel that I went back and played it. The gun mechanics are great. The hackers are horrendous. It was they were so bad it was funny actually. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is kind of a funny experience. But I think hopefully Deadrop will have all those features and movement mechanics that we like.
So,
But
all right. So the last thing I want to hit on before we plug your channels and get out of here is
sure, man.
what are what is something that you would like to see in Deadrop, if not for Snapshot 7, just in general in the future? What is like a feature or thing that if you could have it in Deadrop, what is something you would like to see?
Damn.
I know it's a loaded question.
Bro, I was like thinking like 10 different things, like first thing that came to mind just because we're talking about the cars. Make the cars more like Rocket League or like Rush 2049. I don't know if you ever played that game where
Yeah,
there was like
yeah, yeah.
little
Where they can just
wings,
fly around, do tricks.
Yeah, just do front flips. It doesn't have to be like Rocket League, but if I could do front flips, turn that bitch into a half pipe instead
Yeah.
of like a flat roadway and then
Hey, UGC, once the map editor drops, I'm
yeah,
sure that's gonna happen.
get rid of the obstacles. You know
Okay.
what I mean? I think they make it just a high speed chase. The danger should be the other players. That's kind of my take with it.
Yeah,
You
so
know
like
what I
a
mean?
heist mode or something.
Just you're like on a Sonic 2 half pipe or something, just with other players just bumping into each other and shooting each other, not worried about running into anything and just trying to get there as fast as possible. But who knows? We'll try this mode, see what it's
I
like. But
think I think once the map editor drops, I think you're gonna get your shot at that.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. You know what I want to see? I want like I don't know if you played Snapshot 5, so the
Yeah.
procs chat was amazing. I feel
Yeah.
like this is what I want in Snapshot 7. Okay, this is what I really want. I want them to bring back the proximity chat and kind of force people to make a decision to use it or not again because I feel like the social aspect of Dead Drop and Snapshot 5 and the ability to talk trash. I mean, the content was endless, you
Yeah.
know. And I feel like the whole audio design just got wonky in Snapshot 6. And I
Oh,
think I
really?
think that's I think so. I think so. I think the proximity chat was nerfed into the ground, in my opinion.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's interesting. We might have. Hey, there's an AMA later today with Rob on Twitter, so we might have to bring that up and ask him.
I think so. I think we bring that back because bro, the
Oh, it was
content
hilarious,
that we
dude.
could have is just endless, bro.
You were there for the last game of Snapshot 5 where we all got on the crane, right? And
Yes.
everything
Yes.
was lagging out, and then like the prox chat was even breaking, and it sounded like we were in a freaking wind tunnel.
That was awesome.
That was
And then everyone
incredible.
started killing each other. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, man.
Yeah. Man,
Well, cool, man.
oh,
Well,
man.
we're kind of at time, so like, where's the best place for people to find your content?
We are on YouTube. Well, that's where our heart and soul is. I multi-stream everywhere. It changes every week, but I'm normally on the Purple Snakes and on Kick and then on YouTube streaming. But everything's on YouTube. If you want to find the Dingle, and also we have merch out. So if you want to get your Spicy Dingle underwear, it's out there. It's
Yeah,
waiting for
and
you.
he's not kidding, folks. Like, he actually has the underwear, and it's hilarious, dude.
It's life changing. It's life. I'm wearing them right now. No, I'm kidding. But they're amazing. But dude, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a lot of fun shooting the shit. Honestly, this is I
No,
love
dude,
talking Deadrop, so.
it's actually been a long time coming, and same goes for all the rest of the community out there. Like, I'm happy to provide this platform for you guys and gals, and just interacting with the community this way. It's my pleasure, really, man. So thank you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well,
Well, yeah, if everybody enjoyed the episode, you know what to do. Subscribe, like the video, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on more episodes of Variant Intel, and we will see you in the tower. Have a good one.